quote actually.
It's muted.
On the display panel, is it audio mute on the right under your thumb?
It's mute on YouTube.
Oh, it's muted on YouTube. Oh,
Oh,
okay.
is it? No.
Other side.
Now it's muted on the display panel.
Imagine that we live in an age of reason. And the global warming alarm is dressed up as science, but it's not science. It's propaganda.
There is no direct evidence which links 20th century global warming to anthropogenic greenhouse gases.
They're just being told lies. That's what it comes down to.
Alright, so how many of you believe that climate change or global warming is a result of man? Well, my name is Garret Informative, and today I will dispel for you the myths behind the man-made global warming scare. I put a good amount of time into researching this topic and have come down to the truth of our ever-changing climate. I'm sure with all of the recent hurricanes and global epidemics of late, we begin to wonder if our activities on Earth are negatively affecting the place we are living. Today I will discuss the lies within the science of global warming, the media's slanted propaganda in the news, and the current health of our planet. The first thing that I would like you to know is that the so-called research behind this man-made epidemic has no truth or support to back up their strong claim. In fact, the real culprit is the sun. It is responsible for more damage to our planet than we could ever possibly inflict. The Associated Press has reported that satellites that measure the temperature of sunlight have been recording an increase in the sun's temperature, meaning that the sun itself is warming up. Even the London Telegraph reported in 2004 that global warming was due to the sun being hotter than it has ever been in the last 1,000 years. They cited this information from research that conducted by German and Swiss scientists who claim that is an increasing radiation from the sun that is resulting in our current climate change. The sun may have minimally contributed to about 10 to 30% of the 1980 through 2002 global surface warming. Orbital oscillations can also result in different parts of our Earth getting more or less sunlight, even with the total amount reaching the planet remains constant, similar to the way the tilt in the Earth's axis produces hemispheric seasons. For those who saw Al Gore's documentary, An Inconvenient Truth, it was very convincing of his hypothesis that global warming is a man-made phenomenon that has the potential to kill us all and end humanity. After all, the film was filmed with graphs and charts, so it must be true. Let's just get something straight here. Al Gore is not a climatologist, meteorologist, astronomer, or scientist of any kind. He's a politician. We all know that politicians always tell the truth. Haha. However, Al Gore's popularity grows, and with his recent winning of an Academy Award, the issue has spiraled into a massive push for quick action, forcing many scientists to speak out and challenge his ideas. Our population's increasing CO2 emissions are said to be the reason why our Earth is so rapidly adding to this hot climate. Here's a graph showing over the years a slight increase in CO2 emissions, but notice how it is a very slight increase compared to the global warming experts who are predicting a higher carbon rate in the air because of our so-called mass polluting. Ice core samples from Antarctica have been used as proof of how warming over the centuries have been accompanied by raised CO2 levels. But Professor Ian Clark, an expert in paleoclimatology from the University of Ottawa, claims that warmer periods of the Earth's history came around 800 years before rises in carbon dioxide levels. Now you have a better idea about how many about the many lies that surround global warming, but what adds to this huge lie is the slanted media and political support it receives. This is Time Magazine, just basically just scaring everyone about something they really don't know, but just about the world ending and stuff. But many people are easily skewed away from the truth about global warming and how the media and politics support something so uncredible. They constantly feed the public on the news and how the environmental shows lies about the warming and human-caused incidents. In 2006, Gore launched an initial 3-year, $300 million Alliance for Climate Protection. It was a media campaign to promote greenhouse gas reductions, while ads appearing in national television, print, radio, and online outlets were directed to a diverse audience. The ultimate target group was government legislators. This is a great example of him slanting information to what the legislators want to hear. Gore also adds, as soon as carbon has a price, you're going to see a wave of investment in it. There will be an unchained investment. What better way to reduce evil carbon and to make a profitable commodity? Does this inconvenient truth care about the earth or money? You tell me. I have showed you the lies and the media slander about the manifested global warming scare, but now we'll discuss the reality of how the earth is truly. Climate will change regardless of what scientists depict or what deceitful politicians want to sell a book on bogus claims and evidence. Warming and cooling is part of our Earth's history and is part of life. Trying to understand and comprehend is a waste of time. The Earth has been changing long before us and will continue to change after we are long gone. Today I've talked about the lies deep within the science of global warming, the slandered politics and media in the news, and the actual health of our planet. As you can see, Al Gore's inconvenient truth seems to be in fact a convenient lie. Thank you.
Trent, what did you think?
I thought that it was well organized and had good content to go with it. And it was presented well with regards to speaking volume and overall presentation. Some things I thought could have been better. I think you could have had more eye contact. You seem to be reading a lot there, and just practice a little more with, I saw you had a few slip-ups with the pronunciation, and I also thought that the language in the presentation might have been a little emotionally charged for, if you're doing a scientific sort of argument. Yeah. But other than that, it was a good presentation overall.
Yeah, I think the theme might actually be more persuasive in nature, but what actually pushes it more in that direction is, in fact, the language that you use, which is pretty forceful and expressive as to what your point of view on the subject is. So it sounds, instead of like you're informing us, that you are arguing on this particular position, and I think that that's kind of a different objective. I think the idea of criticizing the global warming's, what you call scare factory, or the industry or the political movement that's going on there, I think that there's a valid point to be made there, that maybe some of the things that people believe need to be debunked, or that important elements in the system are not being evaluated or accounted for. I think that you can do that without necessarily getting involved with all that political kind of stuff, which I'm not saying doesn't have a place, and maybe if you restructure the speech a little bit, you could talk about that too, but it really sounds, like I said, like it's more persuasive in nature. You needed a stronger transition from the video clip. The video clip's very dramatic, and it's got all that kind of stuff built into it, and then you do an audience survey, and it feels awkward when you're doing that kind of thing. I think you need to, especially since you're being very forceful about your opinion, I think you need to be more forceful on making that transition. I thought you had a very clear statement of what your thesis or your specific purpose statement was, and an excellent preview. So structurally, everything is solid. Internally, I thought there was a very clear transition from the first to the second point, so that was easy to follow. The visual materials, I didn't think that the one line graph that you had, where you said, well, you can clearly see that